Shalom. First thing and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'Hashem Rakakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Blessings and salutations to the hopeful elect. New is in this gospel abroad, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the spirit, another mark of the beast update. Okay, according to Revelation 13 and 16, he calls it all small and great, rich and poor to receive a mark in their right hand and their foreheads. And this is wild, man. This is from ones that can see. He puts out some decent content, man, you know, which is relevant for prophetic talk or eschatological talk. And basically it says government rolls out. It said government rolls out the personal citizens number as key to unlock public transactions. Greece launches personal citizen number, a unified digital ID system. Okay, so that's a step closer to what they call the mark of the beast, the MOTB, man. Which Yahweh Ba'Hashem Yahweh Shai told us through the spirit that this was gonna happen. All right, so what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play a couple of minutes of this video, and we're gonna get a couple of precepts, but the rest is really self-explanatory.
That can see. Welcome everybody to today's show. This is a really important video in regards to where we're headed with a digital ID, which again will look a lot like your own personal barcode or your own personal QR code. And I want to thank a subscriber over on the website, Curtis, who, like everybody on the website, shares this vital information because it's hard to keep track of all of the chaos, all of the nonsense, all of the noise that we hear on a day in and day out basis. And whether you're located in Greece or you're located in America or you're located in the UK or you're located in Australia, we all need to pay attention to what the governments are doing because they're conspiring together and rolling this out at a different pace. It's not all happening in the same exact places at the same exact time. But this is exactly what we can expect to occur. And again, this is just like having your own personal barcode. Greece has launched a person for unified digital ID system. This is the beginning of a digital ID. And sure, it might sound a lot like having your own social security number, but this would really be the merging of all of your data into one. So all the separate accounts that you have into one personal citizen number. And before I break down what all of this actually means, it's important to note that the Secretary General of Information and Systems and Digital Governance of Greece also announced at the same time as this.
And isn't Greece part of this system? It's considered part of the Western hegemony, even though it's a weaker economy now, but nonetheless, it's still part of this system, all right? It's still part of Esau's strongholds, Greece, all right? So the fact that they're rolling this out in Greece, that shows you that it's hitting the Western countries at an all-time high, and this is getting ready to be the new norm. So this prophecy is jumping off the pages, man. And the crazy part about it is that it ain't even fully come to pass yet, you know? So
end of ID photocopies, announcing that the practice of providing photocopies of identification cards to public services and private institutions would be abolished, aiming to modernize interactions with government entities. He further added that if citizens do not manually verify their details and obtain their PIN numbers, the government will automatically issue one on their behalf. So they're telling you two things here. By phasing out photocopies, which most people have photocopies of their actual birth certificate or of their social security number. This is the beginning of completely phasing out all physical forms of identification. But also, they're telling you that you can't opt out. They're saying that you are not allowed to opt out of this. If you try to ignore this, we'll just send it to you in the mail or we'll just send it to you digitally. We'll make sure, maybe we'll come to your front door and we'll just tattoo it on your arm. Or maybe we'll just bring a branding iron and we'll just stab it on the back of your neck for you, right? So they're telling you that you can't opt out of it, which really they have no right to actually do. But then again, we've gotten to this point somehow where we even have social security numbers. Just tells you how much we've allowed these people to get away with. So the modernization,
and that's the point, the fact that you have a social security number a state ID, driver's license. You have to have a real ID and all this other nonsense. That shows you right there that this has then been a thing of gradualism. All right, and they set up certain things and certain parameters around what they would consider safety to get you people locked into a system that's gonna totally enslave you, man. And this is the reason why everybody has a social security number, man. Okay, this is the world we living in, you know. And Yahweh Bashim Shai, he's been warning us through his prophets, man. All right, and the prophets are the men that you see on the highways and hedges week in and week out and pumping out these shows, man. All right, Lord's will, I'm one of those men.
Effort also extends to family status and birth certificates, which citizens will no longer be required to submit to public services. He stated that these documents would be processed automatically through interoperability, ensuring that they are only generated when necessary. So this is the beginning of the end of photocopies, which also means it's really the beginning of the end of all physical copies of identification.
Right, because they're phasing out everything. They're phasing out anything tangible, and everything is going to be digital means, man. So soon, money, you notice like in certain countries, ATMs is not even a thing anymore. I believe in the UK, a certain percentage of the ATMs are pretty much obsolete now, you know. And also in certain banks here in America, you only can withdraw. I remember banks used to let you withdraw up to like $1,000. Now I think you can go up to like $999. But certain banks and credit unions, you're only able to take out up to $400, man, because they're limiting the amount of cash they have on hand, because it forces you by default into a system that gets you mentally acclimated to deal with being enslaved, man. And that's just basically what this world brings. All right, so this is not going to be a long lesson. I'm actually on the road, so I'm going to give you 2 precepts. Several more we can go into, but I want to focus on the road. So anyway, and it reads here, Revelation 13 and 15, it says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that many that would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. And I'm gonna tell you this, majority of the people on the planet Earth will opt into this system, because for one thing, these people have no faith. Okay, they're not rooted, they don't have any grounding. Okay, they don't have what it takes to serve Yahweh Bashim Shai. So a lot of them are not rooted. So a lot of them are, by default, they're gonna end up into this system, man. All right, and they're gonna do it. Your family, your children, your fathers, your mothers, your grandparents, your friends, your co-workers, your supervisors, they all gonna take this chip, because they ain't gonna know not to. And even if they know subconsciously not to do it, they have no hope. And the Lord is gonna give them over to this system, because ultimately the Most High wants to destroy majority of these people in this place, man. And that system is coming soon, man. And I'm hoping like hell by end year, early next year, that Esau finally stop pussyfooting around and go ahead and do what he need to do, man, and stop playing. All right, you got the people right where you need them. Okay, this whole COVID shit popping back up in the news, and the crazy part about it is that they had something on the Economy Watch 2 days ago. Basically, basically what was happening was that they was exposing the kingdom. That's the spirit that likes to play, say kingdom. Yeah, call out y'all kingdom finna come. But they was basically saying how the jab was taking, it was responsible for 74% of the deaths, man. And guess what? Everybody we know took that fucking jab. So how much more this MOTB, when it actually deals with the de facto of buying and selling and living and driving vehicles and working? These people are gonna run down there to take that shit, man. And good for them. Let them all take it. The hell with them, because they're wicked anyway. All right. And it says, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark on their right hand or in their foreheads, that no man might buy or sell save he had the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. All right. So this is the new thing. Sooner than later, these systems are going to dry up. The bureaucracies are failing. Jobs are going to start drying up, and they're going to give you a false or a pseudo messiah of hope, which is being a chip. And somebody will have a damn accident, man. Right when I need to be at a location at a certain time, it never fails. But that's, it's judgment. I pray somebody got judged, man, because I sent the heavy curses this morning, for real. So may Yahweh Bashim Shai, may that have been a scoffer or somebody that ever blew a horn at us or whatever may have happened, made a most. I pray that's a fucking scoffer or somebody that we just don't give a fuck about. Excuse my French. You know. But anyway, next precept, then I'll play the rest of the video. Second Ezra 16 and 68, it says, "For behold, the burning wrath of a great multitude is kindled over you. And it should take away certain of you and feed you being idle with things offered unto idols," man. And that's going to be in these concentration camps. Okay, when Yahweh Shai activate these FEMA camps and let so-called white men do what he got to do to you people. Hey, a lot of you, he going to give you an ultimatum. He going to say, well, look, either, he going to say, this is what he's going to say. He said, look, we'll take some time off your sentences if you accept the MOTB. Because ultimately his thing is to chip the Hebrew Israelites. Because he understand that salvation is of us, man. He knows that Yahweh Shai is dealing with Israel. And his thing is to get his hands on us, man. So he's going to throw whatever bait possible to get you tribes, whether you the 2/3 or the elect, because we know the elect ain't going to receive it. But the 2/3, he's going to get you, man. And we encourage you 2/3 to take it because you wicked anyway. And it says here, and they that consented to them should be had in derision and a reproach and trodden underfoot. So yeah, man, you're going to be mowed down. All right. But anyway, I'm going to play the rest of this video. Giving all praises and glory. Why would you? Giving all praises and glory that's due to Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders, a great millstone. Blessings and salutations to the whole full elect. Lord, where you are edified to the next lesson. Shalom.
And the forcing without saying forcing of all citizens into their digital governance infrastructure system.
Wow, DraftKings, that's an aggressive offer. Right, Paul, this and that?
Yeah, great offer.
Biz?
So, Greece has launched its unified digital ID system with the new personal citizen number. The PCN is the new universal ID for Greek citizens across all public services and will replace the older numbers issued by various state agencies. Greece's prime minister said the new personal number will be assigned to every citizen, becoming the key for unlocking any transaction with the public sector. The personal citizen number will be issued through the MyInfo app in the government.greece digital wallet, where citizens will be able to generate a part of the number with the platform to start operating from June 3rd on. Users will need TaxIsNet credentials and a registered mobile number in the National Communication Registry to obtain their PCN via the MyInfo app. The PCN will complement existing numbers such as the tax office registration number, social security numbers, and other ID numbers. The personal number is unique and will not change throughout a citizen's life. It consists of 12 characters, 3 alphanumeric elements, 2 of which can be selected, and the person's tax identification number. Newly issued ID cards will feature the PCN, while those who have already acquired new ID cards won't need to replace them, as their PCN can be accessed digitally. In late March, the Greek state began introducing personal identification numbers on its physical national ID cards. The 12-digit identifiers are unique to each citizen and are used across all state services. The PIN is physically printed on ID cards and digitally embedded in chips, but is not linked to biometric data. The update is aligned with the European Union's digital identity wallet and embedded in the chips, which eventually will be embedded in the body, under the skin. Greece also launched a digital wallet for children to use when accessing age-restricted online platforms or content. The new kids wallet is an optional equivalent to the grown-ups wallet and allows for parents to provide consent for kids to access online assets up until 15 years of age, which is also something we see here in America. We see this being implemented in most countries. They're putting out propaganda instead of actually regulating the internet themselves. The government's putting out propaganda to make parents out there want to remove their children from the internet, which of course is a good thing. I think we all agree that the internet is more harmful than it is helpful, especially for young children who are spending more time online than they are outside or interacting with other human beings. But they're doing this deliberately because this is a way they can bring in things like this digital wallet for children and digital IDs for adults, and separate the two and say, well, if the kids have their own digital ID number, they'll be blocked from accessing the internet. So they'll have their own personal number, you'll have your own personal number, you'll be able to go online with yours, they'll be restricted with theirs. And that way you don't have to police your kids, you don't have to actually be a parent, we'll be the parent for you. But in the meantime, everybody will be implemented their own barcode number. And then in the future, of course, you won't be able to escape this number, because now this will be personally assigned to you for the rest of your life. Like almost what we see with cattle on a ranch. So the kid's wallet will store the child's digital ID number and link to their parent or guardian's online tax ID credential, at least until it's replaced by the new personal identification number. The issuance of the new unified digital ID system is part of Greece's overhaul of the digital transformation strategy. Under the Digital Greece strategy, 475 projects were begun with 295 ongoing. The Digital Transformation Bible set out guidance in the technological infrastructure of the Greek state as it educates and trains the population on the acquisition of digital skills and how the country utilizes digital technology in all sectors of the economy and public administration. Last year, the DCO inked an agreement with the United Nations Development Program on digital cooperation. And this is what you're going to start hearing about. And some of the key words you're hearing in here include not just digital cooperation, but also training, educating the population on digital skills. It's very important to them, because if there's any kind of pushback or resistance, if people begin to remove themselves from the internet, then they have to halt their plans. But as long as people are consumed with the internet, as long as people are addicted to the internet, as long as people continue to go on the internet, and then of course who's monitoring it? They are. They're seeing how often people personally are going online. They have a median number of, wow, people are on the internet 12 to 14 hours a day, 16 hours a day. So they're not going to escape the matrix. So let's start training more and more people so that they almost don't feel like they're getting forced into a digital ID and doing everything digitally, but they feel like they're getting their hand held, and we're helping them get there, like the elderly, for example, or the youth, right? Some of the young children. Make sure this is implemented in the public school systems. Make sure they probably planning on going to senior living places to train them with your tax money so that they can make sure that these adults also are given their digital wallets and their digital identification numbers, and that they can move forward with this. So the government wants to hold your hand and talk about transformation, which is another key word we know in the New World Order. But this is another big step towards a digital ID system. And every country's going to have their own unique rollout to the system, but it's going to have the same bullet points, right? The combination of all these numbers. The propaganda that they put out in each country will differ. Like in America, for example, how much have we heard about, oh, don't carry around your wallet. Oh, your passport's too bulky. Oh, you got all these identification things that you need. You're too busy to go and get your passport renewed, or you go to the DMV. How about we all have it in one place at one time, right on your device? And people out there, of course, will hear that propaganda over and over and over again. Eventually, they will consent to that and say, yeah, you know what? I'd rather just have one number. What's the difference? I already have a social security number, right? Because we've already gotten to this point where our generations before us have allowed the government to even implement social security numbers, which is pretty unbelievable. Now you're gonna have your own new, I love how it's called the new personal citizen number, right? Because again, each country's gonna have their own unique way of marketing this to this specific country, so that it doesn't seem like it's some type of global conspiracy. So Greece, this will be called the personal citizen number. I'm sure they'll have some even funnier name in America, and Australia will have theirs. And each thing, though, you're going to hear the same propaganda points about the difficulty of having all these different online tags, online bank accounts, get everything into one place, right? We're talking like a blockchain. Get everything in one place at one time with one number, and it's simple. It's as easy as that. And people out there are so dumbed down, they'll say, okay, that sounds great, but then you're having everything linked up, and who's controlling it behind the curtain? Your government is. And then on the other side, the other stuff like I had just mentioned, with children,